Hello, just going to give you a run through your new van, show you how everything works. Just over the door when you come in, there's a control panel. Basically you have a main on-off switch on the very right hand side of it, main power switch. You can turn that, turns everything off in the van, leave that on. There's a couple of smaller switches here for different lights, different consumer units. You leave all them on. On the left hand side here is a main switch for the water pump. You can leave that on all the time as well because the pump's automatic. Up in the top here we've switches for gauges, wee buttons for gauges. This one on the left is your fresh water tank. We push that, we can see the fresh tank is full here on this gauge. One beside is the waste tank, it's empty. Here on the right we've ones for the batteries. Battery 1 is your leisure battery, it's full, and your starting battery, engine battery. You can see the two green lights on here because the van is plugged in at the minute. It's showing us it's charging these batteries. So that's all on the control panel. That's it. Your cooker, standard gas cooker. Just turn on the ring here, hold in the button. You'll have to light it with a light or a match. Once it's lit, keep it held in for a couple of seconds on your way. The fridge. We have a three-way fridge, gas, electric and 12 volt. On the left hand side, the green switch here is a 220 volt. When you're plugged in on the mains power, you could leave that switch on and you have a temperature control here. So that's mains when you're plugged in. The red switch here is for 12 volt. You can switch that on. It only works when your engine is running, when you're driving. So if we start the van, we'll see that turn red or light up red to show it's running. On the right hand side here we have our gas controls. On the very right we have a little orange switch here. If I switch that on, you can see it flashes. That's the igniter for the gas, and this knob on the left side of it, if I turn that around to gas and push it in, you can see that stopped flashing. That's telling us it's lit now. And keep it held in for a couple of seconds, and that's your fridge running on gas now. And you have the knob here beside it is your temperature control knob for the gas side of the fridge. You can see now if I turn this off, that orange light will start flashing again to tell us it's not lit. I'll just switch that off now. There's a lock on the fridge here. If we push in this little green tab, this comes up here and you're into your fridge. When it's closed, just push that button down. It just pushes in there. Now your heating, down the back here is your heating control. This little switch on the right hand side of it is the on off switch. In the middle position here it's off. If we push this down, it's for heating water only. Say for summertime use, just heats the water. Showing us a wee green light is telling us it's on, and the yellow light is telling us it's heating water. And when it comes up to temperature, that light will turn off, the boiler will switch off, and it'll come on and off as it's needed. Back into the centre here is off, and if we put it up, it heats the water and heats the van. And this centre dial here, we can change the temperature inside the van. You can just see that there, it goes from 5 up to 30, whatever temperature you want inside the van. This little switch on the left here is your water temperature. You'd either have 40 or 60 degrees of hot water. 40 for normal use, 60 degrees is more for showers when you want to use the shower. You turn it up to 60 degrees to ensure you have plenty of water for that. Inside in the wardrobe here, can't see it, in the back of your wardrobe are your trip switches, your mains trip switches, and underneath is the, I'll just get a torch, I'll show you that. Now in the back of your wardrobe are your mains trip switches. There's an aerial there. Underneath the wardrobe is the boiler, the heater itself, and the only thing we're concerned with here is that little black box with the red button on top of it. It's a frost valve, an automatic frost valve. What happens during the winter, when the temperature goes down around 4 degrees, that little red button will drop down and it'll drain the water out of the boiler. To reset it, just pull up the button, it clicks into place, and you get the water up through your system again. Just turn on your tap when you have water in the van. Just turn on the taps. The cold water will come up fairly quick. The hot water will take maybe a minute and a half to come up. If it's too cold, it'll keep dropping down. If you turn on your boiler, it overrides. Just once your heater's on, it'll stay up in place and just bleed the water up through it. Now, your bathroom, sink, shower, toilet, with a little blue button on the back of the toilet here for the flush, and there's a little lever down the front of the toilet here to open and close the cassette door. Now your seating area, underneath this rear seat are your fuses, your 12-volt fuses and your wee charger. We can just see them all in there. If you have any problem with power supplies, you could check your fuses in there first. The wee charger, the whole lot's in there. And underneath the rear facing seat is your water tank. Your water tank is underneath the floor here at the... Your water tank is in there. If you want to empty your water tank for any particular reason, if you screw off the red lid off the tank, and you'll see a bung in the bottom of the tank for emptying it. You just reach in and lift out the bung. This whole seating area makes up into a bed. If we loosen that big screw in the table will push down and just pull the cushions in together, in towards the middle, and the back cushions will sit down. That will make up a whole bed area there for you. Now outside the van here, we've just vents for the back of the fridge, just behind the habitation door. Just behind that you have your mains plug-in point. The exhaust for the heater is just storage in down there. In this press here is the awning handle. That goes in just up there, and the awning will just wind out and use your legs to support it. The ladder, bike rack, just unclamp this here, and that'll come down. You can carry your bikes around. In this locker on the left hand side, the rear locker, we can just see the battery inside there, if ever you have any problems with this. Your toilet cassette, to empty it, if you lift up this little yellow tab underneath it, it'll all pull out. The spout will just turn out, screw off the lid off it. That's a measuring cup for your chemical as well, for using your chemical. Importantly is the chemical. And you have a little button on the back of it here. If you push that button with your thumb as you're emptying it, it helps it all pour out. When you have it emptied down, just lift it back in, just slides into place and locks in there. Your wastewater, we handle here just on the back left hand side. We can just turn that, opens and closes the waste pipe. And your gas here, this locker here is your gas locker. Just a valve on the top of the bottle. If we screw that down, that's the gas closed, and just turn it up to switch on the gas. There's a spanner there for changing the bottle. Just screw this nut off here. It's a left hand thread, it's an opposite thread to normal to change the gas. To open your bonnet, you've this lever just underneath the steering wheel for opening your bonnet. Now in here we've our screen wash just in front of the driver, air filter, brake fluid. Your dipstick is down here, this little red boy here for your dipstick. It's your coolant, power steering fluid, your battery for starting the van. There's a couple of fuses in there, those wee fuses down there, and a couple of fuses here. It'd be for supplying everything in the back, the likes of your fridge and 12 volt, and charging when it's driving. I think that's all that's in there.